Stay tuned. This is Best in Business with Manny Lopez on Radio Latino Inc. Hey guys, this is Manny Lopez, Best in Business. We're here with Rob Fraser. He's got an amazing story. Used to be in the Marines, he's now an entrepreneur, and I want to share with you the insights of what I'm learning from this guy right here on Best in Business. So Rob, thanks for joining us here on Best in Business. Nice to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Awesome.
I do appreciate you taking the time to do this. So
definitely not a problem, my friend. So you were just telling me a little bit about your story. You did many years. I think it was 12 years.
12 years, yeah.
In the Marines.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
18 when I was
what
in
you
school.
can tell us.
Yeah. Now, when I was 18, I knew college wasn't for me. I was a hard-headed kid in school. I was a hard-headed kid my whole life. So. I always loved learning, loved knowledge, things like that, but I just knew college in me just wasn't working out at that time. Plus I was in high school, young, full of testosterone, all over the place. And so I just knew I wanted to do something different. And I was looking at the military. Then of course once I made that decision that this was going to be my life path, well, which branch of the military? So I was like, well, the Marine seems to have the most respect. They have and nothing against any other branches of service, but I just knew that
Navy man myself.
Yeah, I just knew that I wanted to go the hardest path, which that was my understanding, that the Marines was the hardest way of doing business, and that's what I just decided to do. I was going to be a Marine, and then from there I was going to use the money to pay for college. But that idea just kind of...
Yeah, you were telling me how when you left the Marines, you actually in over $100,000 worth of debt, right?
Yes. Part of my hard-headedness, when I joined the Marines, 18, ended up getting married too soon at 21. She had 2 children, and then me and the ex-wife, we have 2 girls biologically. So I have 4 kids. Ended up getting divorced. And which led me to get out of the military because I just needed more freedom over my own life. The issue was when I got out, I had no real clear-cut direction, and it just basically bombed on my face. And when you're paying around $2,000 in child support and you have no income coming in, it adds up really fast. And so that ultimately led to a large portion of that $100,000 in debt. And in fact, April 30th, 2015, $102,284.74. I knew it down to the penny.
Wow.
And it wasn't until I actually became intimately aware of that number by actually writing it down on a scratch sheet of paper. I still have that paper to this day. That, I was in the debt, and it was just haunting me in my own life. And it was just like, I know I want to pay it off, but I didn't have any direction. The one time I actually sat down, rolled it out, and came up with that number is when I made the decision to pay it off. And in 9 months, I ended up paying it off. So
9 months, paid off over $100,000 in debt.
Yes.
How?
Working my face off. Once I finally got into online marketing, once I separated time from money was the biggest thing for me. In the Marines, it was on the 1st and the 15th, no matter how much time you spend, we know that paycheck's going to come in.
Yeah.
And that thinking, depending on the 1st and the 15th, it doesn't serve you being an entrepreneur. Once you become an entrepreneur, then it's up to me to bring the money in. So I need to make sure I need to get my face out there, get in front of people, get my offer exposed to people. And once I made my first commission online, and I wasn't actively working the business at that time, meaning I had automation working for me, something just went off in my brain. It's like, if you can make a commission without actually talking with somebody, calling them, or what I was used to, rolling up your sleeve and playing in the mud.
Yeah, trading dollars for hours.
Yes, and so once I made that first commission, something just went off in my head, and it's like, the only way I paid off that debt was through online marketing. There's no way I would have paid it off if I was earning $10 an hour, even $20 an hour, even 30 or 40, $50 an hour. There's no way I would have paid off that amount of debt in that amount of time if I was still trading my time for money. I'd be working till I'm in a grave.
Exactly.
And so it's all through online marketing that where that time and money separation, once that done it for me. I just can't put it into words. I can't explain it. But once I got it, it clicked. Once I wrote down a number. So if anything you get from my rambling here, if I don't know who this appeals to, but if you're in debt, know your number, write it down on a piece of paper, because once I made a decision, once I wrote it down, and I knew $102,284.74, that's what I needed to pay off, because I'm so sick and tired of this money following me around. And I made the decision, you know what, all of my profits are going to go into paying down this debt. And so when I would make a commission, a third of it would go to my bills, because I had current bills I still had to pay. A third of it would go towards my debt, and a third of it would go towards, back into my business. And I had that same structure, and I had that same plan. And over time, $200 commission, divided up into thirds. I'm going to use 300 for the math. I get a $300 commission, 100 bills, 100 debt, 100 my business. And then 100, 100, 100
Good concept.
turned into 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. Once I get to that point, it was just automatic and autopilot. It's just all towards internet marketing and just.
I think the biggest key that he's sharing here is he's found a way to duplicate himself. You notice that when he said that way, the moment he was able to make a commission, when he was not in the room, is when his life changed, when everything just clicked. And that's a concept that I try to teach people all the time, is understand how to duplicate yourself. Get your message of value in a duplicatable format where you could be sleeping and your business could be running itself for you. I mean, it's a prime example here. How many of you watching this video right now have paid off $100,000 in debt in 9 months? 9 months, right?
9 months. In under 9 months.
Under 9 months. 8 months and some change. 8's my favorite number, so that's a good thing there. We're gonna put that. We're gonna get the exact day, because you have an exact amount of debt, 102,000 and some change. We're gonna get the exact day, and I'm gonna show you how you can really monetize that in a really unique way. We'll do that as well. But that should be your selling point. How I got 102,000 in debt in 8 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days, or whatever the exact day is. You might even get down to the hours and seconds. But the concept is very simple. He's found a way to take what he loves to do with his message value, how he serves the world, and he's been able to put it in a format that allows him to do it while he's sleeping. And that's the only way. This is his convinced way he's been able to pay off his $100,000 in debt in 8 months, 9 months. So
under 9 months. There was the one thing, the number, make a decision, and it was at that point just something clicked, because you just get tired of carrying this thing around with you. And I just can't put it into words how it feels. When you have that much debt trailing around, and $93,331 was passed through child support. What kind of father lets that amount of child support add up? And it was like I couldn't work hard enough. One thing I didn't tell you, I got out of Marine Corps, fell on my face. I got a job working stuffing vending machines. It's 12 hours a day. I did not have a car. I was up 3:30 in the morning. I'd walk an hour, and you can't script this. This is my real life. Up at 3:30 in the morning, I'd walk an hour and a half to the warehouse, load up my truck, go out and stuff vending machines for at least 12 hours. So we'd be on the road by 4, and we'd be back to the warehouse 4:30, 5 o'clock on average. And then we'd have to put in our order for the next day.
Anybody? There's some sunglasses?
We'd have to put in our order for the next day. Long story short, we would get 7% of what our vending machines made. So, in my case, my average paycheck was $600 to $700 a week. Because I was so far behind in child support, the state of California would take half my paycheck. So I would get $330 every single week. And I was up, walking to work is making me emotional, because it's how much effort you can put into something. And it's just, there has to be a better way. There's no way I'm going to pay down this debt. $330 a week. They were taking half my money, and I was still going backwards. After all of that, I was still going backwards in the hole. And it's just like there has got to be a different way to do this. And it was through internet marketing. Once I got my first sale and I wasn't talking with the guy or stuffing a machine or doing something, it just clicked. There's a better way of doing business. And so if you're watching this, whatever situation you're in, there's a better way of doing business. You just have to trust the process and keep going. That's the only thing I did.
Do you have a mentor?
I have a few that I follow online from afar. Not close, but I do. And if it wasn't for constantly getting around good information, I wouldn't have survived. I wouldn't have made it. One thing I didn't tell you, I was on the verge of committing suicide. And it was just, you get so many things following you around that you just feel hopeless sometimes. And as males, we always identify ourselves with what we do. So, for example, I told you I joined the Marine Corps. When you ask people, what do you do? I'm a Marine, I'm a fireman, I'm a police officer, we held so much with what we do. But when you strip that from a guy and he's just down, just the bare bones, and he can't have money to pay his own child support, it's just like, you just feel like worthless. And that's how I felt. And it's just like, there has to be a better way. And so through internet marketing, it just turned my whole life around. And so, yeah, I can't explain that enough. Just words can't. There's nothing I can say to express how grateful that I am that it just kept going. So, that's my biggest message to people. A lot of people get in an industry to change their lives, but they quit. Just keep going, because your success is there. One day, some random person is going to sign up for your program. It's going to happen at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're going to wake up, you're going to see that first commission year and be like, I can see this thing happening. And that's what happened with me. And ever since then, life has changed. So
awesome. So give me one mentor you look up to and one book you would recommend my viewers read.
I'd say Grant Cardone, the guy I follow, and the one
10X
book,
rule.
10X. That's the book. I read that book 7 times.
7 times.
7 times, and it was once I got that in my head that I was setting low goals before that book, and I was not taking anywhere near enough action. The only one thing that got me over that hump was just going all in, setting that bigger goal, and taking more action. More action than I think is necessary to hit that goal. So I had my goal, I times it by 10. How much action is it going to take to hit that goal? Okay, I think it's going to take X amount of action. Well, you take that X amount of action and you multiply it times 10. There's no way you're going to fail. If you just go all out, there's no way you're going to fail if you just take 10 times the action that you think you need, that it's going to take to hit that goal. Because first you have your goal here, times it by 10. Okay, to honestly hit this goal, I think I needed to take 10 times the action. And once you do that, there's no way you're going to fail. Even if you miss the goal, you're still going to be way above your original goal.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, powerful stuff. I have not read that book, so Grant, I'm very sorry for that. I'm going to get that book. I'm going to read it. Stay tuned. This is Best in Business with Manny Lopez on Radio Latino Inc. Wow, so this has been one very interesting and powerful interview. Rob Fraser here. He's an internet marketer, but he's got his own brand, his very own unique way that he does business. He's not an internet marketer. He is Rob Fraser. You're going to be hearing a lot from him very soon. I'm going to make sure of that. So leave him with just one, you've given some great success tips. What is one challenge that you have been able to overcome and that you did not mention here, that you were taught something from a mentor that allowed you to overcome that challenge?
biggest challenge, and I hear a lot of people talk about it. It may sound cliche, but belief, belief in that book that I suggested earlier, the 10x. I didn't believe I can, in the beginning, this could be a reality. I've seen everyone else successful. How come all these people figure this out, but where's my piece? I'm doing the same things they're doing. What do they know that I don't know?
Yeah.
And it comes down to two things: belief and action. If you don't have the belief, you're not going to take the action. But those two things are kind of interchangeable. If you just take enough action, you're going to get some sort of result, and then that'll trigger your belief. And so it kind of goes back and forth. So I started studying a lot about personal development, belief, and law of attraction, all these sorts of topics. And I was just like, okay, but it's not doing anything for me. I can believe all I want to, but where's the result? And it wasn't until I read that book enough times, like my third or my fourth time through the book, you gotta take the action. You gotta get out there. And it was just like, you know what? I think he's right. I just need to go high and to the right with the action. And I just poured it on. And then at that point, started getting more results, which fueled my belief. And then it just kind of went like,
Yeah.
so it was through that 10x rule book, and it was through reading it the third or fourth time when it just kind of clicked. You got to get out there and take the action. So that would be the biggest thing.
So that is it, guys. Belief and action. You must take action if you want what you want, and to believe what you want, right? To have the belief that you can achieve great things is all the result of two things: belief and action. If you believe you can do it and you take action to achieve it, you're going to have enough results that are going to take that belief to your next level.
And that's going to take your action to the next level.
And take your action to the
next level. It's just going to go up and up and up, just like that. Just that simple. So.
All right, man. Thanks. I really appreciate you coming on, Rob Fraser. For some reason, I thought your name was James. Something was popping in James right here.
James?
You look like a James right now to me.
James is a cool name.
James is my uncle's name, so it is a pretty cool name. All right, well, I'm gonna leave you guys here with this. This is Best in Business. We're actually in Las Vegas right now. I'm speaking at an event at the South Coast. No, this is
South Point.
I'm so bad. This is terrible. South.
It's all
Point.
over the place. One of those.
Yeah, we're in this.
South.
We're in
something,
Vegas.
something,
Okay, I'm at a big
yeah.
hotel in Vegas. I'm going to be speaking on stage here pretty soon, sharing some stories. But I wanted to get Rob's story here because it's amazing. He wasn't even one I planned to see here this weekend, but he's here. He's got an amazing story. You guys now know it, and you guys are obviously seeing some great value. So we'll see you guys on the next video, and always remember that you are too blessed to be stressed. Have a great day.